Now, let's be honest, this is not a Mini Cooper, is it? Not like the Alec Isagonis and John Cooper ones of the 60s. But does it make it a bad car? And is it a sound choice when it comes to choosing an affordable used family hatchback? Well, I'm Andy, this is Two Chaps. Let's find out! So, a BMW Mini Cooper. Let's do it. Now, before we get into the test drive, let's talk about what we're actually in today. This is a 2015 Mini Cooper 5-door with a 1.5 three-cylinder turbocharged engine. And it gets about 134 brake horsepower and can do 0 to 60 in just over 8 seconds, which is pretty respectable. Tax for this car is only £20 annually. How amazing is that? And the combined MPG? For this little perky number, around 60 miles to the gallon. Now, there are a few variations on the model of Mini you can buy of this generation. There's the Mini 1, which has a 1.2 engine. There is the Mini Cooper, what we're in today. And there is the Mini Cooper S, which sports a 2-litre lump. Now, you've got two choices in the Mini Cooper for engines. It's a 1.5 turbocharged petrol 3-cylinder or a 1.5 turbocharged diesel 3-cylinder. So enough of the stats, let's get on with the actual drive of this car and talk about performance and handling. Now, I was a little bit worried with this car. I thought, oh God, it's a massive elongated 5-door version of the Cooper. It's going to handle like a blancmange on shopping trolley casters. I really needn't have worried. This 1.5 turbo 3-pot not only is responsive and perky, it sounds great as well. And actually, I've done a separate video of the sound of the exhaust on this car. Just have a click on it, it's amazing. But not just that, the way this car handles is utterly brilliant. I'm really surprised. You can throw it into these corners, and I was expecting to find my brain left here and my head halfway over there. It grips to these corners like no one's business. Literally like I've got 4 Pritt sticks glued to each wheel. It's really quite something. I'm gonna have some fun on these roads around here now. Dropping it down. Let's go, let's drop it down. Braking into second. It's sporty when it wants to be, let me tell you. Round the corner. Thank God for roads like this in Britain. They are fantastic. The comfort isn't that bad either. Okay, these seats are just boring old cloth seats and they're not really sporty in any sense. They've got a little bit of support either side of the shoulder. But that just means you get a bit more of a comfy ride. They're a little bit more forgiving. And it's just a nice place to be. Now, this particular model is glued to an automatic transmission, and I know a lot of people will be like, well, it's not a driver's car if it's attached to an automatic. It's pretty good, this automatic, I'm not gonna lie. And if you get really bored of when it decides to change gears, you can flip it over into automatic sequential mode, and you can shift down the gears, whoa, and choose when to change the gear yourself. My voice broke because I like it. Now let's talk about how this car looks. It's unmistakably a Mini. It's got those 2 prominent headlamps, it's got that wide mouth grille, and this one has the stripes across the bonnet, which were an extra £120. The 5-door model, I think, is a little uglier than the 3-door. It's the price you pay for wanting a larger vehicle. I don't like the rear lights. I think they are boring as anything. I also don't like those wheels. Oh my goodness. They look like something nicked off a shopping trolley, as Rich would say. They are dreadful. You can get nicer wheels with the upgraded trim level, which is the Chili Pack. I think that gives you 17-inch rims, but these ones are dreadful. The other nice thing about this car is you can choose to have matching wing mirrors and roof color. And if you want, you can also have those Union Jack or Union Flag tail lights. But we're about to move on to one of my favorite things about this car, and that is the interior. This car's interior is brilliant. It's quirky, it's playful, it's quite practical at times. I mean, let's start off by talking about these curves. There are circles and bulbous things everywhere, like the air vents and the door handles. Even the main gauge is a giant circle. The speedometer and the rev counter are also circles. And they look really cool. Now this car comes with something called the Excitement Pack, which is something of excitement in itself. And it basically comes with this larger center console screen, which one of my favorite things is this LED strip of light that goes around the outside of it. And you can choose what color you want to have on it, or you can keep it in this rainbow mode, which is my personal favorite. Those colors are also mimicked in the door handles and around the car. So at night time, if you want it in purple mode, the whole car is purple. One of the things I love about this interior is the toggle switches. I mean, who doesn't love a proper toggle switch? I don't know what I feel more like, an airline pilot or a rally driver for like the fuel cutoff and the fuel pump and the fire extinguisher, all that sort of stuff. And the start-stop button glows red when you put your feet on the brake pedal, as if, I'm ready to go! And the car also winks at you on the little LCD dash at the front when you get in the car. I love details like that. Part of the interior, of course, is the infotainment system, and the Mini does not get let down by that, let me tell you. The infotainment on this Mini is based on BMW's iDrives, which, for anyone who's used a BMW iDrive system, realizes it's just brilliant. You just use the little rotary knob down at the bottom, press your menu buttons and your telephone, your audio, all that sort of stuff. And if you're ever lost, you just press the menu button and you get back again. Literally one of my favorite things about the car. The thing that is the most overwhelming about this car and about this drive is how solid it feels. I don't think I've ever driven a car that I feel more cocooned in and more safe in. It hugs the road really well. It literally feels like I'm driving a hardened steel safe on comfortable wheels. Now what we do need to talk about is practicality. This is not the most practical car you will find, and that is the sacrifice that you make. If you want style, if you want a bit of quirk, if you want a Mini, then the sacrifice you make, even with the 5-door, is space. The boot space in this car is 278 litres, which is 67 litres better than the 3-door. They've managed to achieve that extra space thanks to increasing the car's length by 7 centimetres. However, it doesn't win prizes for practicality in terms of boot space. It's a little shy of things like the Polo, which means actually you're going to struggle a little bit. Now, there really is only one test that we can do when testing practicality with our cars. Where do you put your Werthers?
Well, you can put them behind the gear stick in one of the cup holders, or in this cleverly hidden top glove box. Try popping them in the normal glove box underneath, or one of the front door pockets. Maybe the rear cup holder, or one of the rear door pockets.
But what if you've got a dog? Shall we check?
This handsome young dragon/dinosaur is called Shelby, and he's raring to get in the back of the car after a lovely long walk in the countryside. There's sufficient room for Shelby in the back. But this Mini is hiding a little secret. There's a hidden extra floor to this boot, now allowing Shelby here even more room for a comfortable journey back.
And what about passenger room in the back?
The size of the opening of the rear doors is pretty small, but once you're in, the space isn't all that bad. I'm 5'10" and had ample headroom and around 2 inches of space in front of my knees.
Now, I actually have got a young family, so one of the considerations was, can it fit a baby seat? And can it fit a baby seat that revolves? The answer is yes. Okay, I have to have my driver's seat a tiny bit further forward if I want her behind me, but that's a small price to pay and I'm still very comfortable.
So the car is fun to drive, economical, cheap to tax, and fairly practical. But if you want to buy one, what will it set you back?
So what's the used car market like for the Mini? Well, if you want a 2015 5-door like this with the 1.5 petrol, and you want one with low mileage, say 15,000 miles, then you're looking at around £14,000. If you want one with higher mileage, say 50,000 miles, then you can get a 2015 with the 5-door and the 1.5 for about 7 or 8K, which frankly I think is a lot of car for the money. But should you buy the Mini over its rivals? Well, look at it this way. What's more important to you? Do you need more practicality than you do a bit of style and a bit of character? If you want practicality, your best bet's going to be something like a Polo, or maybe a Fabia, or a stretch to a Golf, something like that. If you don't mind losing a bit of practicality, but want a bit of fun in your life, don't forget the excitement pack, then the Mini has to be up for consideration. So, I leave it in your capable hands. Now, before I go and speed off into the sunset, or really the murky winter gloom, please feel free to subscribe and watch more of our videos if you want more of our content. So anyway, I'm off. I'll see you next time. Bye!